Hello everyone and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade. I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 58. Today is Sunday, September 28th, 2004, and it is quite a lovely day outside, so I decided to record it here instead of in there. It's actually a bit of a mess in there right now, so much easier to be out here. So it has been an absolutely insane week. Oh my goodness, I don't want to repeat that. So I ended up flying up to Indiana on Tuesday. I then was in charge of making sure that everything that was supposed to get packed got packed, and everything that wasn't supposed to be packed did not get packed. And on Thursday, everything was loaded up. And then on Friday, it was a lot of cleaning and loading the stuff that the movers wouldn't move. And then we drove straight through the night to Texas. Oh my gosh, that was a bad idea. I don't recommend that. And so then Saturday was a bunch of unloading into the apartments and stuff like that. And today has been a day of chilling. So it's actually, fairly late into the afternoon now. Like, late enough that I probably shouldn't be having a cup of coffee, but I am, because if I'm not knitting, I'm going to be drinking coffee, right? When I'm podcasting, I'm probably not knitting. So despite the craziness, I managed to, so one of our friends ended up driving out, on Wednesday night? And then he helped us get everything taken care of, because there was a lot of stuff to get taken care of. And this was also the same friend that I ended up teaching how to knit a few weeks ago, so last night we were up till like midnight finishing the hat. So his friend's baby's going to have a hat pretty soon, and we ended up weighing out the yarn, and there's enough yarn left over for a larger hat, because I think the size we ended up making was the newborn size, and that I'm not sure even if that's even going to fit on the head at this point, so whatever. But I ended up guiding him through the last parts, because he ended up needing to go home before he had started the decrease section. So I guided him through that, and that ended up working out just fine. So what else? And I got a decent amount of knitting done. What was it? On Thursday night, I also, at some point, was tired of hanging around watching the boxes go into the truck, and so I ended up sneaking away and knitting with all of my Purdue friends. So that was really, really wonderful to get to see them. Oh my gosh. It'll be hard to find a knitting group to beat them. We'll just, that's the short story. So I did get some knitting time. I also spun in the airport, and what is it? The hilarious thing about that is, like, this time no one ended up commenting on anything, but there was like a Southwest employee who like did like a double take as I was waiting for my flight. So oh, silliness. So I didn't have as amusing a time spinning in the airport that I usually do. I think that's the short answer. So I made some visible progress on the socks for my grandpa. I'm having a little bit of trouble untangling it though. So I'm making this out of 3 colors of wool misa, So I have the Rothrots, the Dora, and then the Wazarots here. So it's turning out quite lovely still. Oh, this is such a tangle. Hello. I have a great big beefy flap coming together at this point. I'm just trying to free the yarn a bit so I can actually show you guys what's going on. So I started the flap. Oh no. My stitches came off the needles. I think this is what I get for throwing my project on the ground. So I'm pretty sure that would be the case otherwise. Alright. Recovered. Okay. Close enough. So I am, what, half an inch into the flap, so really not all too much there. But I did make it to the flap. So let's see, how long did I end up doing it? So about what? 6.5 inches total. I didn't end up doing the full 6 inches of leg. But it is coming together. It is lovely and mindless. And it was nice for whatever. The time when it was like, oh my gosh, I just need to do some knitting to take the edge off, and that was a really good project. This is a really good project for that. Obviously, I still have quite a bit more to go on this, but what can you do? It continues on. What ended up actually getting most of my knitting time was the frangipani shawl. So that got most of my airplane knitting because it was just the case where it was nice and mindless. That's a lie. It was complicated, and that's why it was my plane knitting. And I ended up working on it a decent amount as we were driving from Indiana to Texas. It turned out that having the light on in the U-Haul van trailer thing didn't end up adversely affecting visibility, so as long as I was knitting, I was happy to keep talking and keep everyone entertained. And I knew that I was like hopelessly, terribly exhausted when I could no longer talk. Like, wait, what is it? I knew that I was like really, really tired when I could no longer, work on the pattern. So let's see, this is the right side. I ended up taking it off the massive needles because they were just starting to get in the way. I'm almost done with the chart. It will stretch out quite a bit, so it is a little bit scrunched on the needles I have it on now, but such is life. So I just have, probably like 4 more rows, and then I'll be into part 2, and I believe part 2 is, Part 2 will just be stockinette with decreases, I believe, so that'll be pretty easy. But if we're looking here, like it has a pretty good wingspan. And it's coming together for sure. So this will soon be incredibly mindless. For now, it is just fine for my purposes. It's at this point the pattern is really easy to read, so it's not too bad. And the second part of the chart was more like a variation on the first part of the chart, the first chart here, so it wasn't too crazy to work on. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of yarn left over for whatever reason, so hopefully we end up burning through this. I don't know whether or not I'd feel motivated enough to cast on for a larger size if it turned out that it wasn't really using the full skein. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to look through the notes and figure out whether or not I'm in the ballpark, because it seems like this is an awful lot. Like, it is a bit diffuse at this point because I am pulling from the center, but I have a lot of extra yarn, I'd rather have a bigger shawl, you know what I mean? So, not sure what to do about that. Maybe I'll do a little bit of research tonight and figure it out. Because I could ruthlessly rip this out and start over again. If it turns out that I have plenty of yarn for a large size. So, that was just what I was thinking of right now. So, I briefly contemplated it last night while I was waiting for our friend to finish knitting his first object, but whatever, such is life. So I did hint at spinning, so I'll show you what I've been working on. I am still working on the mystery fiber, the mystery spindle. So I don't know how far I've ended up getting since the last time I podcasted. I don't know whether or not I got any time on it Monday, but there is the happy turtle coming together. And then I have this much fiber left. So I finished the first chunk, which was used to wrap the spindle in when I got it, and so now I just have the second chunk. This chunk has more colors in it, so it also seems to have some like yellow and black and stuff like that, which is sort of random, but whatever. I'm sure it'll spin up just fine. Not sure if I'll get any spinning time on it tonight, but who knows. Oh, that is a mess. Okay. What I ended up bringing with me on the trip was this, which is the Redfish Dye Works super fine merino and silk blend. And so this ended up getting some time. I also was spinning a little bit in between things with packing and stuff like that. Looks like things are getting a little bit diffuse at this point. So I still have about whatever. So I have about this much left of the first 2 ounces to go. And then who knows how long that'll end up taking me to run through. I guess it depends on whether or not there's time for some podcast viewing today or not. Since that is, for the most part, when I end up spinning as of late. And I think I'm going to end up doing the second half, which is this much. It's quite a bit more fiber. I think I'm going to spin it end to end all the way through. And since I didn't end up going through all of the first half on the trip, I do have the option of winding it off and then just spinning this on the spindle. I think that'll make for a better spin overall if I end up doing that. So once I'm done spinning the singles for the first half, then I'll wind off the yarn on the spindle and then get started on the second half. And it is quite purple and blue and lovely and stuff like that. So it has been nice working on this. So can't complain about that. Let's see. What else is going on? So I have a vague plan for a knit-along idea, and I didn't know if you guys would be interested in having another knit-along now that it's been, whatever, a couple of months since the last one. So my idea was to sort of tie into what you would be doing anyways. So what I was thinking was calling it the something special knit-along. And it would be the case where you would be knitting, spinning, crocheting, or whatever for a project that is special to you, be it you're using a special pattern, you're using a special yarn, you're making the time in order to find the perfect pattern and yarn to go together, stuff like that. And it'd be the case where maybe this special thing that you're making is good for a Christmas gift, or it's just something lovely for yourself before you start, I don't know. So it'd just be the case where you'd be working on something that had meaning to you. Because I know, what is it, that I would really like to be able to get to my yak silk yarn, and that's going to be really special and lovely to work with. So it's just the case where, like, surely you have stuff in mind that, or projects or things like that, which you know will be amazing and that you can set aside. For example, what is it? Oh. I was thinking of starting the knit along within the second week of October, so there's a little bit of time for planning and time for me to get caught up on life. So it'd just be the case where, and then let's say that something special knit along would end up ending, whatever, at the very end of the year, so the 31st of December. So plenty of time to sit down and set aside something that will be amazing. And it could go to a Christmas gift, or it could just be, whatever, a gift to yourself for finally carving out the time in order to make it. So that was my idea. I don't know if you guys are interested or what. But do let me know in the episode thread if you would be, or in the comments, that you would be interested in participating, and we'll figure out if we have a quorum. I would guess that this particular knit along wouldn't have prizes. The prize is being able to finally get around to doing something special for yourself. So no incentives or no material incentives. So so please let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. We'll figure out where it goes from there. So I should be recording again on the 4th or the 5th. I haven't decided. We'll see how it goes. Depends on how chaotic everything gets. So what is it? Because we're closing on the house on the 6th of October. So all sorts of craziness. And what is it? I still don't quite know what my husband's schedule is going to be. So we'll figure out whether or not Saturdays or Sundays work better now that he is here in Texas with me, and he has no reason to go back to Indiana. Yep, I get to be somewhat possessive and selfish. I don't mind. So I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.